Hey everyone, so as promised, I thought I would come back for the conversation I was going to talk about, which is about, Heartbreak. And people may realize where the fuck have I been for the past 2 months, and basically put, I couldn't make a video once per day. I failed already so soon, and it just fucking piled up with with homework, with chores, and I also need to do an interview for a job center so I can be a student worker. I don't realistically want to be a student worker. I prefer if that shit was in summer, but hey, it is what it is. If my mom and dad tell me that I should be a student worker, then fuck it. If they want me to be independent, then can't do much. But anyways, today, enough of me ranting about whatever the fuck I'm doing. Today we're going to be talking about heartbreak. Now, I will tell you my story, and I will see if I can give of any advice from my story afterwards. So today is the 8th of March, and I'm trying to remember of what happened last year. So it all started off on the 26th of February when I thought I could try and find my best friend at least one last time. And my best friend used to be Clarissa. I haven't seen her in almost 13 years from now. The last time I saw her was June 15, 2008. And, I've always treasured her because she was more than my friend. She could have easily been my soulmate as well from the connections that we've had back then in St. Paul's Bay. We were kids, and she was the one that really helped me out in situations that I couldn't even think of otherwise. Now, you may think that I'm just making this all dramatic, but you need to understand on the shoes that I had been. What was it, 13 years ago? So I was 10, and then the first time I met her was around I'd say 8, 9, let's give it that range. So the first time I met Clarissa, I was in a point where I felt like I had already seen everything in life. I was a kid, by the way. What, mind you saying this, I was a kid, by the way. Excuse me. I was around 8 to 9 years old. This was probably moments before me and Clarissa met at the first time. What was the situation that I was in? So this was the moment where I thought I saw everything back when I was a kid. I thought I saw absolutely everything that I needed to. And basically put, I'm just gonna give it straight to you. When I was 8 years old, I wanted to kill myself because I thought I saw everything in life. And I just had such lack of interest within life, especially because I had no friends back then as well. Then Clarissa came along. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still had friends, but it's they're friends, but they're not really doing anything for me. You know what I mean? And so, Clarissa came along, who used to be, one of my bestest friends I could ever ask for back in primary school. And mind you that she was I wouldn't necessarily say a guardian angel. I'd say more like a guidance angel. I would think that a guardian angel and a guidance angel are two different things, but we'll get onto that later. So anyways, she taught me about optimism. She taught me about overall happiness. She taught me overall joy. She taught me empathy, because back then I just had lack of interest of life as a whole. I thought I saw everything, and so empathy wasn't really there. Either that or it's just seriously fucking oblivious. I could be, anything could happen. I was, again, 8 years old. And yeah, over the course of months, I just stayed with Clarissa ever since then. Whenever we would go to recess, I would just try and hang around with her. If I can't find her, no biggie. I can always like, like try and find like Kane, or maybe go by myself, maybe like run around for recess. Was I into sports? Not really. I wasn't even. The moment I was born was the moment I wasn't even interested in football. Let's say that. So, and by football, because there's two footballs, rugby, I don't mind it, but usually like the FIFA soccers, I always tried to like it, never did, never came up with me, but it is what it is. So, again, apologies for the ranting, or like the ramblings. Um, yeah, like, we've hang around. The first time I met her was, I was on recess eating a peanut butter sandwich, Jesus fucking Christ. And, what else? I guess she just came along and just said hi, greetings, that sort of thing. I was like, hey, what's up? Because I was an introvert, and I still am, but I'm a whole lot more open, but I still need a lot of work to do. Um, she did her introducing. I just followed along, not knowing what the fuck's going on. And yeah, we were fast friends. And that was the first time I had like, it didn't spark just yet, but that was probably like the first time I actually had myself like a best friend. I used to have friends back then when I was in primary school, but they would always like leave like a year or two after, or even like months after, because maybe this isn't the school for them, and the parents like, excuse me, I don't know why the fuck I'm burping, and like months afterwards they would like move on. The first ever friend I've had was a person named Adam, and we were about 4 years old. I've met him for like 2 months, and he dipped, and we were in kindergarten. It could be that maybe the parent didn't want Adam to be in primary school. Maybe he wanted to be in another primary school. But it's like, what? Whoa. But it's like, whatever. Then came my first proper friend, which was around like 4 years later, because I was 4. Actually, 3 years later. I met Kane since I was 7. Yeah. So me and I think since 7 years old, but whatever. That's not important right now. I was 7. I met Kane. He was my proper friend. But I so felt like even though we had friendship, I felt like there was something missing, something that didn't exactly spark, and I thought I saw everything. And as time went on, I just had more and more lack of interest within living as a whole, because I thought I learned everything that I needed to learn. I live, I go to school, maybe play, and I go back home and I eat, and that's about it. Maybe I get a shower once every 2 days, but that's it. Maybe I need to do bathroom subs, like number 1, number 2. And that's it. And I thought I learned everything about life. Whenever I need food, mom and dad will just cook it for me. So because of the way and how I imagined life to be, being so lackluster and so dull and boring, I had such lack of interest in living that, by the way, this didn't happen. I just had thoughts of it. Like, I never actually wanted to kill myself back when I was a kid. But it's like, as time went on, I had more and more lack of interest. And then I just thought, why am I here? Why do I exist? What's the point? Why am I here? What's going on here, God? Right? And I was just in that situation for like, I'd say a couple of days before Clarissa came into my life for the first time. And ever since then, me and Clarissa, we were fast friends for about 2 years. And the last time I ever met her was June 15th, 2008. If I'm not lost, we were on some sort of outing for recycling. And we even managed to find like a duck egg near St. Paul's Bay, like near the school, because I think we're returning back to school. And when we were going to the next level of school, I thought, okay, fine, whatever, Clarissa's gonna come with me. I will talk about the hairbands. These are actually Clarissa's own hairbands, and I kept them ever since. But I will probably talk about this in like a next video, whatever. But and this I just got it like a year ago. I call it the Amulet of Heartbreak. It sounds dramatic. I get it. Why do I wear it? There actually is a good reason for it, and I'll give that for another reason. What else? This isn't really anything special, but it's special for me. This one I would say is the Amulet of Zilla, or the Amulet of Summer. And the screw is there on purpose is because it's a memory of my Nandad, because he passed away about like a year ago. So yeah, I'm just keeping items that I wear around that are treacherous to me. And I keep them as a memory of how well they treated me, basically put. So yeah, I was in Imjar then, and I thought, oh, you know what, Clarissa would like come along. If I can find Kane, I can find Clarissa, right? It's been 3 days, so I wouldn't find Clarissa. Okay, fine, maybe she's like really sick, you know? And then like another 3 weeks later, I was like, okay, what the fuck is actually going on? Why can't I find her? What the fuck's going on, right? And I started to question myself. And I remembered, right, there was a moment, and even she fucking noticed that, you know, it's the last year and we both have to move. I didn't know jack shit because I was oblivious, but she did. And I still won't forget this moment. When... It's a bit tough, but it's a video, but who gives a fuck? I'm telling my own story. It was around, I'd say like May-ish. She would take off her hairband and give them to me, and I questioned her why. And I'll never forget this. She told me, just in case we'll never meet ever again. And she told me to wear it as like a memory of the bond of friendship that we had. And when that clicked 3 weeks later, guess what? I kneeled down, I hold my hand, and I fucking sobbed for 35 minutes. The entire recess and 5 minutes after the class. Because I loved her that much. And I was still a fucking kid. I would go on more, but I'm just gonna do like maybe a part 1. Because I am really interested into talking about this. So I will also talk about like where the fuck have I been. But it's basically like TLDR, piled up, couldn't make it with the video. And if I kept on making at least 1 video per day, I would just get burned out. Let's be real. So I'm just making a video whenever the fuck I feel like it. But yeah, part 1 was me just ranting about with St. Paul's Bay. Part 2, I'll just continue on with the story. So for now, this will be part 1, and I'll see you all later. And moving on to part 2.